Recently, I've noticed there's been a lot of articles about quiet quitting. So what is that? What is quiet quitting? Well, there's a couple of different definitions that I've seen floating around. One is just doing the job that you were hired to do without doing anything extra, which is literally just doing your job. I didn't realize that was quiet quitting. Again, that's one definition. Now, look, let me just say, quiet quitting is probably the stupidest phrase I've ever heard, especially as you just saw. One of the definitions is just literally doing your job. But okay, now there's another definition which has been adopted by Gallup, and that's the polling firm, and they describe it as workers fulfilling their job description while being psychologically detached from their work. Again, otherwise known as pretty much everyone who has ever done a job before. But hey, okay, sure. I don't understand all the different corporate press articles on quiet quitting and why they're making such a big deal. Again, before I started doing this show, okay, I've done lots of different work. You know, I've worked in manufacturing, worked in welding, I've stocked shelves, you know, I've done different manufacturing jobs. I've, you know, assembled refrigerators. You know what? All of that, not engaged at all. Not engaged at all. I apparently was a pioneer in quiet quitting before anyone ever coined the term quiet quitting. That said, Gallup decided to poll workers about this and see how many of them fit the description of quiet quitters. All right. According to Gallup's survey back in June of over 15,000 full and part-time U.S. workers, half of the respondents, met the definition of quiet quitting, a term that has bubbled up to describe a prevalent worker mindset at a moment when the pandemic has upended employees' priorities and companies' workplace policies. And there's a reason for that. I'll get to that. The study found that the share of engaged employees held steady at 32%. Those who were actively disengaged rose to 18%, up from 17% at the beginning of the year. Look, I am honestly surprised that 32% of all employees were engaged. I did not expect it to be that high, honestly. But there's more. Gallup began to see employee engagement sink in late 2021, with workers indicating that they felt less connected till their organization's mission, felt less clarity around what's expected of them, and saw fewer opportunities to learn and grow. Organization's mission. Look, honestly, when I was working at some of the other places before I, again, started working for myself, you know what my only goal was? Get a paycheck so I can pay the rent and buy groceries. That was my mission statement. I could care less about the mission of the organization. Didn't care at all. Now, you're not going to be surprised of, you know, who the majority of the people who are quiet quitters are. It appears that Gen Z and millennials, younger millennials under 35, are one of the cohorts that's seen a substantial drop in engagement, according to the survey. Since the pandemic began, the share of younger workers who strongly agree someone cares about them and encourages their development has fallen steeply. Among young workers who are not in the office full-time, less than 40% fully know what's expected of them at work. Again, least surprising thing I've ever seen. And yet, the corporate media, the corporate press is freaking out. Again, so many articles about this. Oh my God, did you know that people don't like to work Yeah, did you know that they don't actually care about their company and the mission statement, that they're only there for a paycheck? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Work sucks. I know. Okay. The thing is, I think a lot of workers now have gotten just fed up over the bullshit. And look, you know, it took the pandemic for me to, for people to realize that I am getting screwed over by my boss. I'm not getting respected. I am not getting valued at my job. I'm not getting paid enough. My boss doesn't give a crap about me. Middle management sucks. Maybe this job isn't for me. Yeah. And that's what the whole Great Resignation is about. And again, nobody seems to get it. Nobody seems to understand. The employers don't understand it. And the corporate media sure as hell doesn't understand it. In fact, Gallup said in this report, quote, "It's clear that quiet quitting is a symptom of poor management." Okay, no, it's literally just capitalism. Again, what's been going on? Companies, and the reason I say it's capitalism, because the way that companies are structured today, the incentive structure is all about short-term corporate profits, executive bonuses, and that's it. It's not about actually creating a long-term viable, financially healthy company. We see that when they post massive profit margins, they'll take the majority, the lion's share of the money, and not reinvest it back into their business, not raise wages, but just do corporate stock buybacks to the tune of billions of dollars, which basically all that does is first inflates the value of the company far beyond what it should actually be worth, the stock specifically, but then it creates executive bonuses. So it basically is just a way to increase executive pay. And that does not trickle down to average people. And by the way, at the same time that they're doing these stock buybacks, they also fire workers. And that's also while they were getting paycheck protection loans during COVID. And so people see all of this stuff. They see all of the abuses at work of them. And they think, I don't want to be a part of this. This is ridiculous. No, I'm not interested in working for a company that doesn't give a goddamn about me at all. I'm done. And so, yeah, they treat people as resources. They push people to do extra work that they didn't sign up to do. And by the way, they also get rid of people and then tack on more and more responsibilities to a single person while still underpaying them and undervaluing them. They also cut into personal time with work stuff, including, work emails, expecting employees to be always on, or giving them inconsistent schedules like we see with a lot of low-wage workers. Gee, it's no wonder why people are very unhappy with their workplaces. And again, nobody in the corporate world seems to understand this at all. They don't get it. In fact, Gallup, that same poll survey, believes that one way to boost engagement is for managers to have at least one in-depth conversation per week with each team member that lasts 15 to 30 minutes. No. Let me tell you, the one thing I would not want is to sit there and be forced to talk to my boss for a half hour, 15 minutes to a half hour. Hell no. No. Look, what people want, they don't want a conversation. They want to do their jobs and go home. They want to not be expected to do more than what they're paid to do. This is pure corporate propaganda. And it's hilarious, but also disastrous. Look, what people want is obviously to be paid what they're worth, right? They want to have decent benefits. They want to have paid time off if they need it, right? They want to have sick time. They want a good work-life balance. And they want to be valued for what they do and not be expected, again, to do more than what they're paid to do. You want, and as an employer, you should want to have happy workers, because happy workers are productive workers. Workers who actually do feel valued in their workspace they will actually be engaged. But if you don't feel valued, if you don't feel like your company and your boss gives a shit about your well-being, you are not going to give anything to that company. Anything more than what you have to. You're going to, you know, basically what it is you pay me for the exact amount of work that you want me to do. If you want me to care, you better pay me enough to care. You want premium work, give us premium pay. That's all we're trying to tell you. But once again, y'all ain't listening. Big surprise.